Welcome to our Halloween special video. We'll be talking about which 5 Pokemon that we think are the creepiest. Pokemon has an extensive history of this. Despite being a game series geared towards all ages, Game Freak has managed to include some incredibly dark and creepy things that shouldn't be read or seen by children.
Yes, many of us Pokemon are pretty sadistic and messed up. I mean, sometimes I feel uncomfortable associating as a Pokemon.
Anyways, this is a video based on our own opinions, so if there's a creepy Pokemon that you think belongs on this list, let us know in the comments below.
And also make sure to click like and subscribe, and if you do so, we'll personally donate a substantial sum of money to our local Pokemon Center.
Chad, we haven't discussed the
Number 5 on our list goes to Mimikyu.
Pokemon has a clear tradition of making a Pikachu-esque Pokemon for each generation following the first one. For the 7th generation, they decided to be pretty tongue-in-cheek about their Pikachu copycat, and literally have a Pokemon disguised as a Pikachu.
Everything about Mimikyu screams quality. It's easily my favorite 7th generation Pokemon.
For starters, its overall design is fantastic, and oh yes, it's creepy. But more so than that, it's dark and pretty tragic. Its actual appearance is unknown. A scholar who saw what was underneath its reg was overwhelmed by terror and died from the shock. A lonely Pokemon. It conceals its terrifying appearance beneath an old reg so it can get closer to people and other Pokemon. The fact that it's lonely and using its Pikachu disguise to hide its horrific appearance to get close to people is pretty sad. One gameplay element that Mimikyu has is its ability Disguise. It allows him to take one hit in battle without receiving any damage. Once he's hit, Mimikyu's disguise breaks, and it breaks at the neck, which is not uncreepy.
Not a real word.
Then the Pokedex continues to break your heart and details the process Mimikyu goes through to repair its disguise. It stands in front of a mirror, trying to fix its broken neck as if its life depended on it. It has a hard time getting it right, so it's crying inside.
Heartwarming.
Cofagrigus is one of my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon, maybe number 1 to be completely honest. His Pokedex is something of a horrific passage, but it pales in comparison to its preceding evolution Yamask. These Pokemon arose from the spirits of people interred in graves in past ages. Each retains memories of its former life. Each of them carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it and cry. That black entry is pretty harsh and sad. It again shows how dark the Pokemon Company gets with these things. Yamask carrying around its own human face is so dark in a Silent Hill or Dead Space sort of way, and it's kind of fascinating. It's not going to happen, but if Game Freak decided to make a Pokemon horror game, they'd have an incredible amount of source material to work with.
Not only is Yamask effed up on all fronts, but it raises a considerable amount of questions on the origin of Pokemon, and more specifically, what actually are Pokemon? Like, who am I? Where do I belong?
Right here, Chad.
Baskets.
Pumpkaboo is a pretty adorable Pokemon. I mean, he's a ghost type, but he's also really cute. And you know what? He's also really nice. Its Alpha Sapphire Pokedex entry states that it's said to carry wandering spirits to the place where they belong so they can move on. Such a noble and beautiful soul he is. One can only assume that Pumpkaboo evolves into an even more kind and wonderful adult and... oh dear... what the... is that?
Gourgeist is the evolved form of Pumpkaboo, and it seems quite clear to me that during the evolution process, he morphed from gentle boy to straight up serial killer that enjoys the process of his hobby to an unhealthy degree.
Singing in eerie voices, they wander town streets on the night of the new moon. Anyone who hears their song is cursed.
Okay, bad, but just wait.
It enwraps its prey in its hair-like arms. It sings joyfully as it observes the suffering of its prey. Gourgeist is a serial killer that loves its craft.
Also, what is not terrifying about hairline arms?
And the delight in murder?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, why would anyone do that?
In my first playthrough of Pokemon White, Chandelure was a mainstay on my team. Him alongside an obese pig seemingly happy to slow roast himself till we made the Hall of Fame.
Chandelure evolved from Litwick, and eventually from Lampert, and that's the one we really want to focus on. Let's check out its dex entries.
The spirits it absorbs fuels its baleful fire. It hangs around hospitals waiting for people to pass on. It arrives near the moment of death and steals the spirit from the body.
It's heartwarming.
The definition of baleful is menacing, as if burning one's eternal soul doesn't convey that clearly enough. That entry about hanging around near hospitals is incredibly dark for an all-ages game.
Lampert is well deserving of the number 2 spot on this spooky list.
One thing that you'll quickly notice when you start to delve deep into the world of creepy Pokedex entries is that Game Freak has a weird obsession with Pokemon abducting or in some way tormenting the children.
I mean, luckily there's no actual in-game instances of children encountering these Pokemon. Oh wait, no.
The 4th gen Pokedex entry for Drifloon reads like this. It tugs on the hands of children to steal them away, however it gets pulled around instead. But the Heart Gold Soul Silver reads as follows. It is whispered that any child who mistakes Drifloon for a balloon and holds on to it could wind up missing. Thing is, Drifloon's backstory expanded over the following generations, becoming creepier for each region. These Pokemon are called the signposts for wandering spirits. Children holding them sometimes vanish. This dex entry suggests that they're better at making children vanish than we initially perceived in Gen 4. If for some reason its body bursts, its soul spills out with a screaming sound.
Creepy.
Wandering souls gather together to form this Pokemon. When trying to make friends with children, Drifloon grabs him by the hand.
Super creepy.
Its round body is stuffed with souls and expands each time it leads someone away. Basically, that balloon is full of souls, mostly children's souls that it's led away from their home.
So this is essentially the Pokemon equivalent of those corpse cards from the Middle Ages. Except souls instead of bodies, and the souls are that of children.
You could say that Drifloon is not a kind soul.
You could say that you're an idiot.
If that weren't enough, get a load of this. This is what Pokemon Sun says about our balloon friend. Stories go that it grabs the hands of small children and drags them away to the afterlife. It dislikes heavy children. So not only does it steal kids, hoard souls, it also fat shames heavy children. Yeah, definitely not a kind soul. Thanks so much everyone for watching our video. We hope you all have an amazing Halloween and stay really safe.
And seriously, please click like and subscribe, because he won't shut up about his lack of subscribers, and I can't get any peace and quiet. Also share with friends.
I'm kind of in the Halloween spirit because I'm really excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm going to be getting that on opening day, and I'm really excited to have a relaxing day playing it. From both me and Chad, we hope you all have a great day.
Yeah.